Hello guys, welcome to a new video, and today is a mix of things we're gonna do. As you can see, the car is jacked up a little. That's because we are gonna start with the removal of the engine. So of course we need to get all the coolant out so we can get the radiator loose, and then we can get this front out, and then basically all there's left is undo the subframe, like the engine mounts, the transmission mounts, and then it can come out. Also the diff I want to clean up a bit because it looks a bit rusty and old, so we need to take the diff out as well with the axles, because I'm gonna clean them up also. So yeah, let's just continue with sorting this stuff out, so getting all the coolant out, and then we can remove the front and more stuff. So it's a couple days later now. You can see the car, and then you can see this red thing, which is the crane. So which means we're gonna pull the engine today. It took a little bit longer to get the crane than I anticipated, but yeah, we still got the crane. So what we need to do now is still undo the transmission mounts, undo the engine mounts, and then we should be able to lift the engine out of the chassis. Of course, there are still some, like for the AC hoses, that we still need to disconnect, but yeah, that's not a big deal. So what we're gonna do right now, I think, is just do the mounts, and then we can pull the engine out, and then I'll show you, because we made some more progress in the meantime. As you can see on the roof, I sanded, and then right now I'm working on getting the seam sealer nice, because it was like a, yeah, just like this, but then here. So I didn't like the look of it, so I'm just getting it off and then resealing it nicely, so it can all get painted very nicely. Also the color, which I told you guys I'm gonna go for, I'm starting to doubt it. I might go for a different color, and yeah, we'll see. But let's focus first on the engine, because as I'm making this video on a Saturday, the next Saturday, the car is going off for the cage. So yeah, the final stretch, and then we can start building it back up again. So let's get the engine out. So we just took off all the wiring, so the engine harness is completely off, and now we are preparing for the engine to get taken off. Also the transmission mounts, engine mounts, and basically every cooling hose and like hoses that are attached are loose, so we can try to get it out. So as you can see, we lifted the engine out. The engine crane is a little bit past this time, so it keeps dropping a bit. That's why we put the wooden plank in it. But as you can see here, engine is out. So what we're going to do next is pull the headers off and the gearbox, and then we're going to make a mount to mount the engine on, like a trolley. And then yeah, the engine is out, and we can move more into getting this ready for the new engine and more stuff like that. So yeah, pretty funny to see it off like this. So let's get the headers off and then the gearbox. Now that we've got the headers off, we can move on to the transmission, which is just taking the bolts off. So that's next, getting the transmission off, and then the block is just free and we can move it to the shed in the back. So yeah, let's get the transmission off. So as you can see, it's a bit later now. We cleaned everything up. The hoist, or like the crane, is gone. And now I can show you guys what the bay looks like without the engine. So there's not much left really. All there's left is like the steering rack, which is gonna go because I got a yellow tag rack from the 330 E36. Yeah, like these for the AC, that's gonna go. Like, yeah, just wait, and the ABS and the brake reservoir, and that's basically it. So yeah, that's pretty hefty. So I'm gonna show you guys what's going on inside. Basically the same as the beginning of the video. Probably in the next video we're gonna fix that glue, do some more sanding, do some more small bits, and that's like the final touches, because it is like the final touch before this car is going off for the cage. So yeah, the last videos, or like the last video before the cage is not gonna be that interesting, just because it's final touches, and the final touches are not really that interesting. So yeah, my plan is to get everything out of the bay. Not sure about the reservoir, maybe I'll just cover that up, but the ABS as well. And then sand it and clean it, or paint it. So I want to paint it Avis blue. Yeah, right now it's a little bit of a, it is Avis blue because it's original paint, or like the original, this is not original paint, but this is. But it's like a little bit faded, and I want just the outside paint to match the engine bay. As you can see here, it's all dusty and you scratched it multiple times. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys the gearbox and the engine that is in the shed at the back. I know the lighting is a bit rough in here, so I'm gonna put my flashlight on. So here is the gearbox that's off, next to all basically the stuff that's off the car. And then in the shed next to this one, we have the engine. So this is the one that came out of the car, the B25. So yeah, we'll need to take some things off, possibly the fan nozzles, but also the like aluminum thermostat housing, the new water pump that's in it, and like all sorts of stuff. Not too much actually, because we want to keep this running, keep this as complete as possible. In which case the B28 doesn't work out, in terms that I don't build it well enough and it destroys itself. We can put this back in easily and then still drive. So yeah, this is what the upcoming videos about the build is mostly going to be about, is getting the B28 engine back to running condition. So as you can see, here are some parts, the pistons, rods, caps. So I got most of the stuff in for the underside of the block, and the head is still at the engine builder for the I think the valve guides were worn out, so they're getting replaced. And once we get the head back, we can also put that back together. I think for the head we have everything, because nothing is really getting replaced there. It's just the valves, and everything is checked and cleaned and ready to go in. But for the underside of the block, we have new bearings, new chains, new hardware, new gaskets, basically every wear item is going to be replaced. So that's going to be very interesting. So yeah, the next step in getting the car back together is getting the B28 built, and then we can put this engine into the car if it runs, which we can only see when it's back in the car. So, and also we need to work on the wiring harness that we need to strip out, and more small stuff like that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. I know this was just getting the engine out, but this was pretty major step in this build. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video of this build, where we're gonna move on to more of this stuff. If you're more into the engine building stuff instead of breaking the car apart, then yeah, the next part should be interesting. Now we're gonna go on to building, so that's awesome. That's a big step. So thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.